It does, doesn't it? It's amazing. I'm trying to pull something up here. Let's see here. Let's see here. Okay, go ahead. Now here we go. Okay, so but Frank, I remember as a kid reading Dr. Seuss. I was never a fan of Dr. Seuss. I always thought that it would be called what you call now racist. There were a number of books I didn't read, like Burr Rabbit and all that kind of stuff was, as far as I'm concerned, racially insensitive. I never really, I remember a teacher asking me one day, I was in maybe the second or third grade, and she asked, why didn't I like engineers? And I said, because they called me the N word. And I thought she was going to keel over. But it was true. It's true. It's very true. So, you know, right, right. But that's too much like right. You, so no, there's too much like right. They're not going to do the right thing. These people are certainly not engaged in doing what's right for the American people. Yeah, the local economy is shot. There's no question about that. No question about that, my friend. But Frank, what do when they want to cancel Mr. Potato Head. Um, this cancel culture is serious, man. I mean, these people aren't playing. Yeah. Well, yeah, these people are definitely not serious, but they're having impact, and we have to deal with it. Let me. Speaking of which, what did you think of Donald Trump's speech at CPAC? And And do you notice what they say is, these pundits will say, well, say it was a legitimate election. Say I want you to say it was. I wouldn't say it was a legitimate election. And it's really interesting that Rand Paul and Sinise from Louisiana, they both said the same thing. Hey, there were irregularities that need to be looked at. Right. Yeah, Mika Brzezinski. Yeah, yeah, that was Mika Brzezinski. Yeah, no question. She said that. I used to play it all the time. She certainly said that. There's no question. So, but Trump, stood up and he just called it right out. And I think someone was saying to me that uh, that we had the split in the party, and I said no. I said even so they said, well, only 32% of people wanted Donald Trump to run for president in 2024. I said, but 55% wanted him to run. They wanted to focus on that 33%, 32%. I'm like, dude, 55% of the people wanted him to run again. Um, and this guy, Adam Kissinger, his own family, Frank, wrote a letter saying that he had embarrassed them and that they were done with him. Well, when he, well, yeah, but he should have. I think that he should have had better people make decisions around him. I think he listened too much to the Federalist Society and people like that when he was selecting judges, and he should have counted on people more like Peter Navarro and Steve Bannon. Yep. Yep. But yeah, I did that. I did that. I did that Monday when it came out. Oh yeah, yeah, he does. Yeah. Well, he got involved in Obamacare. Yeah, they have. And so, the question becomes, what do we do? What do we do about it? I mean, that becomes the question. You, yeah. Um, I, I don't know, man. It's, when you get out here and you start really, drilling down as to what's really going on, um, it becomes a little frightening sometimes. Someone told me that this is the scariest time that they've ever lived through. Let's see here. Let's see here. Hello, can't hear your guest. I have everything turned up. Let's see. Go ahead. Go ahead, Frank. Talk. So, what do you think? What do you think about that? I mean, or Elizabeth Warren and oh, but Kamala's not as bad as Sanders and what's the girl Liz? What's her name? Pocahontas. Yeah, Elizabeth Warren. She's something, man. She's a piece of work. Well, it's do as I say, not as I do. Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing about Barack Obama and the socialism. Barack Obama is an elitist. He thinks that he's better than everyone else. He thinks he's smarter than everyone else. And that showed with his pompous attitude. But you know what I was thinking about, Frank, when I talk about Obama? Usually when you're in a boat with a woman, right? The guy's in the back, you know, generating pushing the boat through the water, right? The guy's in the back. And the woman's in the front, right? So when you saw Barack and Michelle in Hawaii about a month ago, she was in the back and he was in the front with his arms crossed, looking like a king. I swear to God. I swear to God, man, I was cracking up. Yeah, I know what you mean. For some reason, oh, you know what it is? I know it exactly what it is. Hold on. Go ahead. I'm listening, Frank. Go ahead. Well, you can't have a strong middle class because then you have the propensity for Americans to stand up and fight back. So so you so that's why you have to look at how the civil rights movement basically paralyzed the black community. The black community was moving forward. Every generation was moving forward, making progress. You can't say that given the data. Given the data, you can't say that the government affected programs, whether it was war on poverty, affirmative action, none of these programs helped blacks to move forward to the next level socially. Right, right. Hey, Frank, we need to take a quick break. Pause for the cause, but you get ready to leave. So you go ahead and summarize, and I'm going to take a break. Okay, man. Take care. Okay, bye bye. Okay, folks, we're going to take a little break, work on this sound. Okay, we're back. And, you listen to Psaki, and Biden hasn't spoken out on this because he's not speaking out on anything much. But they said there's no crisis at the border. This guy, Alejandro Mayorkas, listen to this. Oh, there's no crisis. He's just lying his behind off. That's a lie. The prior administration followed the rules of our immigration laws. They got control of our border. People don't have a right to come into this country and lie about asylum. These are not good people. These are not the kind of people you want in the country. And like I said, you white people who sit back and, why shouldn't we when they start taking over your jobs, when they have represent your military, you'll see why. I mean, these are people who don't do well in their own damn countries. Why do we want them here? These are not the best. These are not the strongest. These are not the brightest. These are people who will be on welfare, who are have an 8th grade education at best. Why do we want them here? And then you have all the criminal element. We're not even going to talk about the criminal element that's coming across the border. But we should, because it may affect you. And for all of you people out there who are not engaged in this idea, who are not engaged in this issue, who refuse to pick up the phone and call your mayor, call your councilman or your alderman, call your state reps, your federal reps, congressmen, senators. I hope you get involved, but I hope it's not because something bad happened to your family. Let's finish with this guy lying on President Obama. This is the head of DHS. That's a lie. Another lie. Bing, 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 bing. Nose is growing. We didn't need the facilities because we didn't have people rushing our border. We didn't have 8, 9 to 12,000 people waiting to rush across the border. That's what these people have generated, a crisis on the border. They won't call it a crisis. The news media won't report it as a crisis, but that's exactly what it is. And like I said, for those of you who are out there who refuse to get engaged in this issue, I hope you get engaged one way or the other. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. So, but this guy is just lying, isn't he? He's just lying. Listen, here we go. It wasn't gutted. There was no need for it. There was no need for it at the time. Because like I said, we didn't have 20,000 people rushing the border to get in. You saw the drone shots. And if you haven't seen the drone shots, go over to OAN, go over to Real America's News, go to Fox. They have drone shots. Go to your computer. They have drone shots of all these people coming to the border. Oh, just don't come right now. Wait, please. Oh, we stopped building the border wall. I hope Joe Biden's kids, I hope his grandchildren suffer the consequences of these illegals being here and can't read signs, running signs, creating accidents because they don't read English and they think somehow that's supposed to excuse them from being law-abiding visitors. All I can say is, Americans, you need to get tough. You need to get tough, and you need to stand strong, and you need to react in a very human way. What do I mean by that? I mean, if you're angry, then act angry. Don't try to suppress your anger of these people who come here. It's just an accident the other day. Horrible accident. Guy ran a stoplight, took out two cars. Boom, 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 boom. So I pull over. I'm listening, right? One of the guys is speaking Spanish, and he doesn't speak any English. And the cop is on the phone at this point calling to get someone down so they can, I guess, talk to this guy. They ended up calling, the ambulance came and took a couple of people away. It was horrible. But basically what it came down to is the guy didn't know the rules of the road. He'd never read the book. He didn't have a driver's license. He had no insurance. When they passed this law here in Illinois to give illegals driver's license, the lie that they told the American people or the people in Illinois is, oh, they'll get insurance. It's so stupid. These politicians are so stupid. Illegal is illegal. Simple. There's no two ways about it. Now, Jan Psaki was giving a press conference earlier today. She's too funny. And she had to say, where is it? She had to say this about the what was it she talked about? I can't remember. Let's play it. Build back better. So make America great again. Build back better. Build back better my ass. There is no build back better. Trump had the best of everything. Joe Biden came in, took away 40,000 jobs. What's building back better? Building what back better? Are you stupid? The American people are so stupid. I don't know how anyone could go out and vote for Joe Biden, to tell you the truth. I mean, build back better? Really? Give me a break. Build back better. Build what back better? Checks are going out. Checks are going out to the American people. Really? 90% of that bill has nothing to do with COVID or the American people. Why don't they give us $4,000 or $5,000 instead of wasting all this money on an underground railroad in Silicon Valley? Why should we pay for that? Hello. Yeah. Nothing else to preview. Build back better. Really? He comes in, the first thing he does is lays off 42,000 Americans, 42,000. And then let's talk about his the Voting Rights Act. When we come back, we're going to hit this Voting Rights Act thing. He's going to talk about voting in HR 1. We'll talk about that in a minute. You know, we're back, and yeah, so Biden was talking about the Voting Rights Act. What I mean, HR one. If any of you have read HR one, you know it is truly a disaster. It is a disgrace. It's a disgrace to the American people. It's a disgrace to the country. It's a disgrace to the Constitution. What these people are trying to do with HR one. They want to harvest ballots. They don't want any voter ID. They want to pass this into law. They want to make this a law that you don't have to have a voter ID. We got what 30,000 people coming across the border this week. How do you think they're gonna vote? We don't want any voter ID though. We don't want to know who. We don't want to know who. And then I hear this thing about they want to always bring it back to the poor blacks and the poor browns. They don't know how to register for the internet to get shots. That's what Joe Biden said. Y'all so stupid. You can't even register on the internet to get shots. My poor black people. Well, Joe, you have to remember, I'm not black. I didn't vote for you. Did I say that? Yes, it. Yes, it. But you got to laugh to keep from crying, man. I mean, this is serious. It's very serious. So um, I was looking at Wall Street Journal today, and I was going through uh, the opinion page, and the opinion page had so much going on that I should have brought it. I think I had. Oh yeah, there it is. It's over there in the seat. But it had uh, Biden's Middle East concessions may backfire because we're trying to pull troops out. He's trying to keep troops in. He doesn't know what he wants to do. But whatever he does, he wants to be the opposite of Donald Trump. Well, he needs to acknowledge that some things that Trump did were good things. There's nothing wrong with that. They were good for America. So, but they don't want to deal with that. They'd rather lie and say we want another election like 2020 where Democrats stole the election. We're not going to let that happen again. And we're going to push these rhino state legislatures to do their job. To do their job. The Wall Street Journal says, this is opinion page, if you thought the 2020 election ran like a finely oiled machine, you will love what the Democrats plan next. The Senate and the House reserved their first bills, H.R. 1 and S.R. 1, for voting changes that would make mail balloting in a plague year scene button up. They said, we've gone through some of the details already, but it's worth another word as the House prepares to vote this week on this H.R. 1. It's going to pass the House. It's no question. It's not going to pass the Senate, though, but it's definitely going to pass the House. And then if it does, we'll fight it in the Supreme Court. So, it's just so many things in that bill that's so unconstitutional. It's incredible. Voter harvesting. We'll just vote all month long. I mean, what's wrong with that? We need more people voting. Well, why can't we just vote anytime we get ready to vote? Can't make this stuff up, people. Okay. But H.R. 1 would create a federal right to a mail ballot. No excuse necessary. Registered voters couldn't be made to submit any form of identification as a condition of obtaining an absentee ballot, except a signature or affirmation. State law requires mail votes to be notarized or signed by witnesses. would be trumped. Hmm. So they just want to override state legislatures, which is in the Constitution. State legislatures make the election law. And they go on to say, late arriving ballots if postmarked on time would be valid nationwide for 10 days after election day. If that's not trying to steal the vote, I don't know what is. Oh, we're just trying to make it easier for Americans to vote and have their votes counted. Every American should have. I mean, really, they think we're stupid. This is ripe with fraud. And if you don't believe me, just go read the executive summary of the Baker-Carter voting report. It's called Voting Commission Report. Baker-Carter 2005. Baker-Carter 2005. True story. Wouldn't lie to you. Check it out. Wow. HR 1 and SR 1. Two bills that would destroy the very fiber and fabric of and integrity of our voting system. Pay attention, people. Pay attention, because while you're sleeping, the Democrats are trying to steal this country. The leftists are trying to steal the country. And if you think they're not, just go out and read, this opinion piece. It's right there glowing, right in your face. They in this section that I was looking at, they talked about voting rights at the Supreme Court, and that was really interesting. You have to check it out because, again, like Frank referred to Justice Thomas, this article refers to Justice Thomas basically calling out his colleagues and saying, you need to address these voting rights issues. You need to address these election issues. You're neglecting your duty. As Frank Benusi had pointed out earlier, and I pointed out time and time again. America needs history and civics education to promote unity. I'm not promoting unity. I'm promoting critical thinking. I'm promoting individual thinking. I'm not interested in promoting unity. This is a commentary on the opinion page of Wall Street Journal today. Check it out. I think you'll like it. And, they're very clear about that we need history. And I always talk about history. So I'm always educating. They said, following years of polarization, this is the first paragraph, following years of polarization and the January 6th insurrection. See, when they use the word insurrection, it should send up antennas. Beep, 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 beep. Insurrection. It's no insurrection. Arnie Duncan was actually a contributor to this. I can't believe. He was actually a signatory with his dumbass. Anyway, former Secretary of Education out of Chicago. But they say following years of polarization and the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol, the world's oldest constitutional democracy is in grave danger. We stand at a crossroads, called to protect the democracy and to work toward unity. Current and future generations will look back to examine how we chose to act and why. Well, yeah, they will. But first you have to go to the fact that we had a president who was impeached twice for basically nothing. They tried to remove this man from office twice based on bogus claims. Oh, he tried to quid pro quo the Ukrainian president. And, he incited a riot on Capitol Hill. And they were already rioted on Capitol Hill while he was still speaking. Anyway, you have to pay attention. You have to go out and do your homework. If there's nothing else I require of you, is to sit down, do your homework, get your argument tight, whatever it is you believe in. You don't have to believe what I believe. Just when we have a discussion, have some facts. Maybe you can show me something. Maybe you can tell me a thing or two. I'll look forward to it. Let me check the time here. Time kind of got away. Where are we? Okay, we're at 50, so we got about 10 minutes. So look, we're gonna play a little commercial, and we'll be right back. Okay, a little Miles Davis. And but yeah, and so we were talking about the opinion page today in Wall Street Journal. It was truly heavy, very, 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 very heavy. And you need to go out and check it out. Just read through some of the topics. It'll get you up to speed. It'll make you think, get you informed. Can't beat it. Can't beat it. Mm. So some of the schools are opening up. How about that? We need them to open, for real. You get these kids back in school, back to learning something, put something in their heads. And we've had a lot of shootings here in Chicago. In fact, uh, uh, there's a great article in yesterday's Chicago Tribune talking about how Black people are picking up guns and getting gun training. I wonder why. Defund the police. You hear Black people saying that in the neighborhood. You heard Black Lives Matter saying that, but that's a white group. You heard Antifa saying that, that's a white group. You didn't hear Black people in the neighborhood saying, we want to defund the police. Because they don't want to defund the police. They know who keeps them safe. Kind of like when I was at WVON, and these guys were protesting me one day. And I had called the police. And so one of the guys, his name is, he tries to hold himself out. His daddy was a Black Panther, Fred Hampton Jr. That's not his real name, but he tries to hold himself as he's supposed to be Fred Hampton's son. Fred wasn't married to his mom. So he holds himself out as Fred Hampton Jr. So I go outside with the police to point out, who was, rapping on the windows and shouting threats, right? And so he says to me, well, Mr. Butler, we could have had a chat before the police showed up. I said, dude, who you think called the police? I called the police. I'm not your friend. I'm trying to get you locked up. I don't care anything about you. I'm not trying to work with you. I'm not trying to understand you. I want you to leave me alone. And see, that's the whole issue. It's like this criminal reform bill that the governor just passed has nothing to do with protecting the people in the neighborhood. It puts the people in the neighborhood totally at risk of these criminals. Now, Jay Pritzker needs to move his behind to the Black community. And he'd see that, but he doesn't care. Like the rest of these people, they really don't care. They listen to, these Black politicians who have absolutely never have their constituents' interests at heart. Man, I know you're thinking about my voice. Yeah, my voice is breaking a little bit. It'll be better. It'll be better tomorrow. I promise that. Let's see. So what's going on here? Andrew says, hell no. I live in Roseland. We need the police. Yeah, you need the police. We all need the police. And we need good police. We need people who show up, show respect, and do the do. As a matter of fact, AOC and Presley, I think, are trying to eliminate qualified immunity. And that's something that's granted cops so that you can't sue them for their personal effects, okay? You have to sue them through the organization they work for. But I think, and see, this really didn't come about until the late 60s. They want to start, protecting these cops. See, I think that took away all of the soul. It took away the humanity from a lot of these police officers because they became unbridled. They could be unbridled in their aggression because they weren't held accountable. So what if I break your back? So what if I twist your arm? So what if I crush your kneecap? I'm not paying for it. You can't get a dime out of me. I have qualified immunity. Kind of reminds me of that. Oh God, I'm getting old. Danny Glover and Mel Gibson. What were those things? Oh, Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon. Remember the South African would go, diplomatic immunity, diplomatic immunity. And that's what cops put up. Qualified immunity. Qualified immunity. And that gave them the right to go out and really take advantage of their situation, which they already had, because they have policing powers. They're the police. Now, if you think that you can out-police the police in anything at any time, then I got a bridge I want to sell you. This goes from here to, from Chicago to Buffalo, New Buffalo. How about that? Hey, look, we're coming up on the end of the show, end of the hour. It's just always too fast. But tomorrow, talk a little bit more about HR 1 and the Supreme Court not taking up this case, the election case, and why Donald Trump is still the leader of the Republican Party, because he was an outsider. We love Donald Trump. We love what he does. We love what he's doing. He's going to kick that butt. Remember, I often pose the question when people say, well, if he loses, what is he going to do? And my question was always, where do you think Donald Trump has the most influence? As a private citizen or as president of the United States? And some people go, oh, well, the president. No, 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 no. As a private citizen, he could start his own Twitter. He could start his own Facebook. Okay. And people would sign up. I'd sign up. In fact, I have a Twitter, a Trumpet page now that we sign up for. So check it out. It's called Trumpet. It's an app, and it's like Facebook, and it's like Facebook and Twitter, it wrapped into one. Hey, but look, we'll be back tomorrow. Talk about those topics we talked about. Mr. Clarence Thomas. Okay, folks, have a good one. Thank you. Take care. Ba-da-ba.